Hey guys, Rushy from the Emerald Ocean here to bring you a hopefully somewhat comprehensive gunning guide. I'm going to be centering it around looping. There are several different styles for gunning. Looping is by far the most popular, so I'm gonna focus on that because I believe it's the most consistent. I'll go over the basics of the puzzle and give some tips for filling the cannon quickly and efficiently, and hopefully I can point out some things to avoid along the way. So obviously I'm on a new pirate, so I can show you how to practice with the Navy if you've never tried the puzzle before. Without further ado, let's get started. So to get to the puzzle, you click on the notice board, missions, and any puzzle where it says blank with the Navy, you can just click on that one. So I have bilge unlocked, so I'll go there. And what you're going to do is actually cancel this mission, and gunnery will become available to you. So before the ship gets going, I'll just quickly go into the tutorial, the in-game tutorial, to find some of the basics. So you'll have 3 arrows to work with that you're placing to direct these pieces that are going around the board. So the order you're going to want to fill them in, each cannon, is this powder bag, and then the wad, and then the shot, and the cannonball. So if you fill all the cannons in that order, or if you fill the cannon in that order, then that's correctly filled cannon. If you make a mistake like this, you'll need to use the water bucket to clear it out, and then you can try again. Also, if you're on a pillage and the captain shoots a cannon, it'll look like this, and you need to wash it out before you can load it again. So let's just hop right in. So you'll notice the pieces start coming out of this barrel in the center. Whenever they hit a wall, it's going to take a right turn, and it's going to continue doing that forever. So the objective is to place arrows. So the controls, I've seen many different ways to do it. There are 3 different ways I believe you can control the arrows. So the one that I use and prefer, and it is a preference, is to click and then drag and let go. Click, drag, let go. So that's what I like to use. Other people will use arrow keys, or not arrow keys, but WASD to move the direction and then click to place it. That's fine if you want to try that way as well. It's again just a matter of preference. I personally click and drag just because it's what I'm used to. So filling the cannons, you'll want to create a loop, but I'll get into that later. The order again is powder bag, then wad, and finally the shot. Let's do it again on this next one. These are nice and lined up already for me. And so basically we're going to repeat that for all the cannons that we can. And the faster you do it, the higher your score. So if you'll notice, the pieces are moving really slowly on the board right now. And that's because we are able on this pirate. And the default speed is here. But the good thing about this puzzle is that you can actually adjust the speed to ultimate level without actually getting there with this little slide bar. So you can make the pieces go super fast or super slow or anywhere in between. So what I would suggest is picking the speed that you're comfortable with, just the highest possible speed that you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with it going blazing fast yet, then don't. Stick with what you're used to, or not what you're used to, but what you feel like you're comfortable with, and just practice loading the cannons like this. So next thing I can talk about is the basic looping structure and what good boards to look for. See, I'm screwing up because it's so slow. I'm not used to it going slow. But so we can see here that I have a nice loop going. So this is my standard loop that I'm going to look for, where it's an empty row here on the bottom. This is always going to be empty no matter what. And then I have access to this as well through kind of the side wall here. And I can just direct this arrow to change it to go up here. And then I have access to this cannon, and this cannon. So this actually is a really good board because I can also create this loop on the 4th cannon, which is by no means necessary. You can certainly fill 3 and exit the puzzle and be just fine. But I like to always look for this 4th cannon possibility, just because it improves your score just a little bit. So if you notice, I'm in the Navy and I've loaded all 4 cannons and it just immediately shoots all 4 out. So if you're going for scoring, you actually don't want to clean them. You just want to leave and enter it again. See, it just... because it does not differentiate between... like, as far as like speed and scoring, if you need to clean out the cannons, it's not going to care that you need to clean out the cannons. It's the same time regardless of whether you need to clean them out or not. So because you're in the Navy and it's just going to automatically clean them all out for you, that's the best way to do it. Is once you fill all 4 or once you fill 3 or whatever you want to fill, you can just close the puzzle and go back in. Just up to speed a little bit. And then we have another nice loop up here. So let's see if we can get a bad board. So this is a bad board because there's no empty row down here. And then you have a nice little loop up here. It's just terrible, it's awful, it's just no. If you close out within like 5 seconds of opening the board, you're not penalized at all. So this is what I like to call board shopping, where you just are kind of exiting and entering until you see a board that you like. And the first thing I'm looking for is this nice clear open row down here at the bottom, like that. And this is also a good one because up here I have this loop up here if I want to. That's also a good... I'm not used to this speed. I'm just going to crank it up. Yeah, so this is a good board because you have access to all 4 cannons, and at least 3 is good, but 4 is better. And if you'll notice, every time I'm filling a cannon, I'm resetting up my loop structure. So I have a good board here. So I'm going to try to get this one filled. This is actually not a great board because I have some sub loops going on up here, but I'm resetting my loop structure after every time because it only maintains the first or the last 3 arrows you place. Bad board reset. Bad board reset. Good board. Reset the loop. Next one. Reset the loop. Next one. Now I don't have access to this good cannon up here. I could pull something off. Well, if I stop getting collisions. I could pull something off this way. That's only because I have an automatic thing down here. If there is any blockage down here, this method does not work. So typically if you're starting out, I wouldn't recommend trying what I just did for the 4th cannon. You can just close out after the 3rd one. It's perfectly fine. You can get legendary doing that. And the order you load them in doesn't really matter too much. There's obviously little efficiencies you can make by ordering or loading them in different orders, but it's not too big a deal. Yeah. See, it's really bad when you have stuff coming into through the top like that. I should probably be better at dealing with it, but it's whatever. So yeah, the object, if you're trying to power rank in the Navy, is, just to recap, 1, just pick a speed that you're comfortable with. 2, maintain your loops. No, this isn't. You need to reset your loop after every cannon you load, or else you're, well, yeah. You should, because if you start placing arrows to set up a next cannon, you're going to lose your looping structure. So you need to absolutely reset that loop every time. Just a minor efficiency, if a piece is coming up that's close to a cannon you're wanting to load, and you don't have time to reset the loop structure, it's okay to just load a couple of those pieces in and then reset it up after, because that's generally going to be more efficient after all is said and done. So let's just do this route, and then I'll see what I can get going, and then I'll see if I can point out some good and bad boards patterns that I'm seeing. So this is a good board. Things are coming into the loop pretty naturally. I'm not having to deal with any sub loops or anything that's going on, so it's really good. Oops. I'm going to ignore that 4th cannon. So this is slightly worse because I have this guy going up here. I'm going to ignore it for now, and I eventually decide it's probably good to break those out. And obviously, the timing will come down. Like, you have to practice. It's not going to be really easy to learn the timing, but once you get the reps in, it's not too bad to learn. This is the max speed. So if you practice using max speed, it's really easy to get used to that, because it's all you'll ever play. So here's a pattern that I'm going to point out. So when you have this block right here, and you're washing out a cannon, or washing out this one, you can just go ahead and put the thing there, like put the arrow here, to knock the powder bag back like I just did. Because it's not going to go down and do anything, it's going to stay there. If you don't have that block there, it's not good to do, because then you're probably going to lose your powder bag. Do a little bit of board shopping, because it's trash. Pretty good board here. So even though I spent all that time explaining it, it's still an excellent. So Navy gunning is the easiest way to rank up. Like, I'm already master. Tried doing a smooth move and I ended up screwing myself there. You want to try to keep an eye on the powder bags when you first start, just to see which cannon it's going to come to first. Just a small efficiency thing. Got a nice line up there. Yeah, and again, it's going to take a lot of practice to be able to pick pieces out of the bunch like that. But if you put in the reps, you'll get there. Let's come back up by itself. So I have a really nasty thing going on here. So I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to multi-load. Man, with Grand Map, man, it's really easy to rank up. I'm going to multi-load. This is probably bad because I just had the opportunity to. And doing that kind of thing more often will definitely boost your rank a lot, because if you're capitalizing on pieces that are coming up to the cannons and not just like tunnel envisioning on one, then you're definitely going to do better. Get faster clears. Like I could have just got that first cannon loaded right off the bat right there, but I didn't. Well, now I'm confused because I was thinking that I would have had the red in there already. Ah! Abort. If you ever do screw up like that, just take the hit. Don't reset it, you're gonna get a worse score if you just reset it. So yeah, try to avoid, like if I'm really try-harding for power rank, any board that has like a ton of collisions like this one does, I'm just noping out of it. League points coming up pretty quick, but let's see if I can get 3 loaded. I think we can get there, maybe? No, probably not. You should try to finish what you're doing before you get to the league point, ideally. Just gonna wait for the next one because I couldn't get it anyway. It's looking like incredible so far. So I got that nice line up here, so I'm just gonna take that instead. Always try and utilize, if you have pieces lining up, to just like start a new cannon. It's the perfect opportunity. I should have done it there. That should be incredible. So yeah, incredible is actually not that difficult on guns, because you only need to load 3 guns really fast to do it in 1 leap point. I've actually seen it done in 2 as well, just it's a lot more rare. So let's just do a quick incred. We'll try to anyway. So you're already legendary. And obviously if you're new, you're not going to get up to quite legendary. I'd say if you put in a good hour or 2 of practice, you can probably get to master and stay at master. Could have gotten that, but that was kind of hard to detect. So I have this really, really bad subloop going on, and I should have noticed it sooner. And I should have closed the puzzle. So no incred. Let's try one next league point. And it's impossible. I mean, really, really hard to find that there's going to be like a loop like that going on when you load, like, just first load up the board. Oh, dang it. Might be able to recover. Good try. Good recovery. No, it wasn't a cred. Okay. See, yeah, cred's not that hard. I totally screwed up a lot of stuff there. And I still got the incred. Yeah, well, that's it. Yep. Ah. Ugh. Yeah, I'm just gonna abandon that. If you see something like that, disgusting. Just don't. Smooth moves. Looks like I'm hard stuck Grandmaster half legendary. See, I made a misclick in the beginning there, so I'm just gonna not. Again. That's the beauty of the Navy. You just restart whenever you make a mistake. In the beginning. Oh, another thing. If you start placing an arrow in the wrong spot, you can just right-click while you're holding left click down to cancel out the action. So here, canceled, canceled. Lovely. Now there has to be a hard cap on the... Oh, I did go up. Okay. Should be another incred. Boom. Let's see if we can make this an able to ultimate video as well. Don't like the spread. Well, there that goes. Yeah, I went down to GM. See, I didn't like that because there was two wads in front of both the powder bags, so I just did not want to continue with that board. Something to keep an eye out for. This shouldn't be... That's excellent, yeah. So if you screw up once, you're just like... back down. But thankfully, gunning is kind of a puzzle that power ranks itself, so it's not that hard to get back up. Nope. Nope. Oh, I tried. Oh, come on. This is an absolute disaster. Okay, this is what I've been looking for. So this is what's called a cargo bay, or what I like to call a cargo bay. Absolutely not. I hate these. Whenever I see that, I just like try to get out as fast as possible. Good. Oh, that's because I was describing the cargo bay. Yeah. I think I'm probably not going to get ultimate, so we'll just end it there. I think I went through everything I wanted to cover. Main points being learn that looping structure so that it's second nature. It should be like muscle memory. You just load the board, look for this, okay, good. Put these 2 arrows. That's how you start your loop, every puzzle. Learn that so that it's just you can immediately recognize it's a good board or not. Create that loop and just get going. Pick the hardest, fastest speed that you can. Don't go for ultimate speed unless you can handle ultimate speed. You'll get there eventually if you can't right now. Load, I'd say for beginners, try just loading 1 cannon at a time. I know I was kind of going off there at the end trying to multitask several cannons at once, but I'd say focus on 1 cannon at a time. You only need to load 3 cannons for an incred in the Navy. So if you just do 3 really fast cannons and all you're wanting is an incred, just that trophy, then that's all you need is just load 3 super fast and close it and wait for the leak point. It'll come. If your goal is for ultimate, you can get it this way. You don't need to freestyle. You just need to be really consistent. Hit basically 6 increds in a row, and you're probably on your way to an ultimate. It does take a little bit of grinding past legendary to get there. It's not just like 3 or 4 boards past legendary. You really need to be super consistent, and then you'll eventually get it, just because the talent pool in gunning is like, well, it's actually not too bad right now, but usually it's just like a full board of ultimates on gunning. But these guys are all ridiculous. Like, I don't know what they do. But it's definitely something you can grind out in the Navy. And I think that's it. So learn to identify when it's a bad board and get out sooner rather than later. If you're gunning like on a sea monster hunt or in a blockade or on a pillage, you do need to clean out the cannons as a first step. That does hurt your time, and you probably will rank down from that, but that's to be expected. It's good that we do have the Navy to fall back on if we need to power rank back up, though. So if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment if you'd like. I can maybe answer any questions. But other than that, thank you. Hope you learned a thing or two.